Aloha, y'all. It is Wednesday, Woden's Day, Odin's Day, named after Odin. Wednesday, etymologically, Odin's Day, Woden's Day. And esoterically, it is ruled by Mercury. It's January 28th. The sun is in Aquarius, 8 degrees. The moon is in Gemini, trining that sun. The moon is in Gemini at 10 degrees. So we've got Venus and Mercury exactly conjunct, 13 degrees Aquarius. The sun is 8 degrees Aquarius, so loosely but technically still conjunct that. And Pluto and Mars are conjunct by 1 degree, 4 and 3 degrees, conjunct the sun in Aquarius. That's trining the moon in Gemini. And Uranus in Taurus retrograde is trining that Pluto-Mars conjunction. So, whole lot of electric wake up energy. It ain't comfortable. Jupiter in Cancer retrograde squaring Chiron and Aries, but these wake up calls are necessary for our evolution. So the cards of the day: 3 of Swords, and it's I think 1.68% chance of this happening in 2 different decks. 3 of Swords, same card. We'll read it once, and then the wild card is from the Animal Oracle deck, Divine Animal Oracles, and it's Secrets, the links. So if you're a sword, you're mental, right? The sword's the mind, and the air signs are that naturally. So Geminis, Librans, and Aquarians, you are the sword suit, though everybody has the sword. And the card of the day, like I said, 3 of Swords twice over. On page 126, the 3 of Swords: I see life as cruel and meaningless. Freedom, which is arrived at through despair. Question everything. Ask quality questions, very much that moon in Gemini, sun in Aquarius. Life is cruel and without meaning. So seeing a world which appears to be cruel and uncompromising can bring us to a point of despair. In the 3 of Swords, a young man sits with his head down. We can feel his sense of deep sadness. I imagined him as a street artist expressing his anguish through his art, which appears behind him on the wall. The head of the floating, surreal figure is a mask of shame, which was a medieval torture device worn for the purpose of public humiliation and rejection. Throughout history, people have been forced to display a mark of shame or a stigmata to deter others. This taps into something very primal. In early humans, where survival was intimately linked with collaboration, like the community, self and other, all that Aquarius energy, to be rejected by your tribe was effectively a death sentence. In later cultures, artists, writers, intellectuals, and anyone who dared to think differently and admit a different sexual orientation risked being shamed and outcast. The violence and suffering human beings can inflict on other humans, and indeed all living creatures, beggars belief, and yet it exists and cannot be ignored. 3 swords are propped up against this wall. One of them looks like it's falling against the sitting figure. 3 swords appear as if they have been carelessly left. These swords, rather, the ones propped up, appear as if they have been carelessly left behind by their owners. As objects, they are crafted pieces of metal sitting against the wall, yet in the hands of men, they can cause unimaginable suffering. The hawk and the feather remind us of the possibility of freedom, even in the face of despair. Sun and, Mars conjunct Pluto, Mercury conjunct Venus, all up in Aquarius, right? We can get to freedom, but it doesn't mean it's easy. We got to rise above it, see it from a different angle. Gemini moon. The dripping heart, painted almost as an afterthought, communicates that only through love, the heart, can we be liberated from the burdens of existence. The luminous fetus offers hope of rebirth which awaits within the darkest depths. This fullness of being can only be reached when we are able to touch our deepest sorrow. Jupiter in Cancer retrograde, squaring Chiron and Aries. The roughly painted question mark sign gives us a clue as how we can get that transformation in our reality. The 3 of Swords suggests the quality of your life experience is directly proportional to the quality of the questions you ask. Moon in Gemini, trining Mars, Pluto conjuncted Aquarius. The truth is out there, X-Files style, but we got to ask the questions. It's a bunch of redacted lines. How do we discover what's really in the file? And so another interpretation of the figure emerges as one who, like the Buddha, sits determined to penetrate the truth. He will not move from his spot until he has an answer. Many spiritual teachings describe how we must go down through layer after layer of our personality until we get to the last layer and fall through it into a meaningless, empty space. It's like kind of, the epiphany at the end of Full Metal Alchemist, if you ever saw that anime, or many kind of movies, books, whatever, where it's just like, it's not what you thought, hold on loosely. Inside Out is a good example, right? Joy, it's not all about you. You got to work with the others. Mind fuck. If we are able to fall further into the darkness of meaninglessness, we arrive at no thing, like the void, emptiness, Zen, pregnant nothing. And from that nothing, we can create anything. North Node in Pisces. This card tells us our sorrow must be acknowledged. The despair is something we all share. When we see how it carries the seeds of new growth, we can surrender to it, allowing it to move through and transform us. So freedom arrived at through despair. It's like Buddha. He was a Playboy bunny mansion owner, and then he had to get rid of it all and say it's not that. And then he went to kind of, living on a grain of rice or whatever. And then he's like, it's somewhere in the middle, but I have to shatter my illusions. Break on through to the other side. So freedom arrived at through despair, questioning everything. Ask quality questions, X-Files mode, all this Aquarius energy, Moon and Gemini. We got to ask the questions. Life is cruel and without meaning. And there's a freedom in that if you can dig it. So the card coming in twice, I don't have to reread it, but look at this. We've got a black circle with a little white in it. We've got a black circle with a little white in it. Very resonant, right? And we've got this idea that we're going to have to challenge ourselves, challenge the cultural narratives, challenge what we hold on to mentally. It's going to have to be assessed and manipulated in such a way that it transforms, which isn't an easy alchemical process. But when we do that, we can beam ourselves up to a higher place, all this Aquarius energy, and it's going to alienate us from ourselves. But at the end of the day, it's a little like the movie Annihilation. It's like it's a mind fuck, but at the same time, it punctuates you into a new place of awareness, which is good ultimately, but not easy necessarily. The wild card is coming from the Divine Animal Oracle deck. We've got number 2, the secrets, the links. Gemini is the twins, the Moon in Gemini. So, 1, 2, Gemini, twins. 2, links, secrets. Your word is your bond, right? Do not gossip or entertain gossip. The shadow of the Moon in Gemini and all this Aquarius energy is that we're just talking shit. And we're just saying, you see that emperor with no clothes? He's so bad. It's like, be the change, don't just talk about it. All may not be as it seems. Be shrewd about who you share your confidential information with. A little mystery can be a good thing, but keeping secrets that are detrimental to others may not be. Redaction, right? It's like, oh, look, the Epstein files. Not at all. There's still secrets here. There is some news worth sharing, but be discerning. You don't want to hashtag just spread the news all the time, right? But we're learning that our minds can't even handle all the truth. You want the truth, you can't handle the truth, right? The narrative is being challenged internally as well as externally, and that's difficult. So the advice we're getting from the links for the magic is that this magic, links magic, can be utilized when you need to keep a secret or stop gossip. It is the perfect magic to weave when you are making a vow to yourself or another, a magic that is wild in its nature but focused in its intent. Ensure you are clear with your intentions up front, right? Be real, be truthful, be real to the point where maybe it alienates you. Right? Maybe, you say the truth and everyone's like, you're a loser, you're weird, get out of here, Aquarius, sun, right? And the Moon and Gemini's like, but I'm just asking questions. I'm just probing, anal probe. I'm just probing the depths. And when you punctuate past a point, you're going to pop out into the infinite void, basically, where anything is possible, including aliens, including, mysteries beyond your wildest imaginations. So keep pushing, keep on breaking through to the other side, and you will find that the void, when you stare into the void, it stares back, right? That secret, the occult means hidden. The occult knowledge has a guardian at the threshold, but when you break through, you are illumined. This almost looks like a little psychedelic mushroom or something. It's like you will get the download, but you got to do some digging and research and homework and question even your answers and presuppositions and all that. So if you've enjoyed this, leave a tip, holler for a reading. They're 5-star reviews, so you'll have a fun time. An hour of cards, 5 tarot cards and 5 oracle cards is $50. 3 hours, sometimes even 4 if we talk a lot. 3 hours of astrology is $150. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, Aquarius. It's half off on either or both of those. And if you refer somebody to me, you get half off on a card reading. So you can get an hour of cards for $25 if you refer somebody to me, and we make that connection. It's like, oh, Sue referred Jill, and Jill says, Sue sent me to you. We can make it work. So just know that we're all going through a lot of changes, and it's going to shatter our eggshell minds, but through that breaking, we punctuate to the higher version, the elevated version, Aquarius, the alien, looking down at the human monkey mind, saying, well, we had to get here eventually, and that's the secret that no one wants to talk about. It's a tricky alchemical dream we're in, indeed. Enjoy your Woden's Day, your Mercury ruled day, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Adios.